intercepted by Goolsby. Touchdown, Goolsby. Goolsby has been all over.
So it's been a lot of fun. We do things a little bit differently.
The Mike Goolsby Show with Mike Goolsby and Tim Hyde. Live.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Mike Goolsby Show featuring Coach Tim Hyde. Tim, we made it through another sleepy Notre Dame day game. And I had a little epiphany. I was on the tractor earlier today.
Love it.
Listening to some pods, right? Some Notre Dame football pods, and all the talk is about USC, right? And we opened up this game. There's two different halves against NC State, but we kind of fumbled our way through the first half. And it's just so interesting where the entire fan base and the media is like so focused on USC, yet we want to kind of rake our team over the coals for having kind of a clunky performance in the first half. And I totally get it. It's just these day games, Tim. I'm happy to get out of there alive. Early thoughts on USC. Thank God it's a home game, and thank God it's a night game. What say you?
Oh no, I'm with you. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's no, it's funny because I the more I watch Notre Dame, I'm just like, just win. The heart attacks and the freaking out. You still won 36-7 or whatever the hell the score was yesterday, and you're like, how the hell did we not score 55? It felt like the same thing, from Boise. Once Notre Dame figures out what the hell to do on 4th and 1, then they'll score more points. But that's a topic for another day and another night. But no, I mean, it's exciting, getting ready for this week as we see what's ahead right there. Huge win, obviously, for Southern Cal. That's last week's poll, isn't it? I'm looking because SC's 20th, right? Yeah, there you go. That was last week. I was like, geez, Louise. Florida State, hell, if anything, let's look at the preseason poll. That thing is long gone, isn't it, Mike? It's like, who the hell's left from that? But no, it's exciting. Really, a big game. I saw, who was it? Tom, I think, just posted like the biggest game since 05. 17 was a huge game. I want to say SC was 11 or Notre Dame 11, SC 13. That's the biggest ranked game since 05 was in 17. So that's a biggie, but it's going to be awesome. This is a pretty good SC team. I watched the whole second half last night once I got done rewatching Notre Dame and everything. So it's definitely USC's best football team they're bringing here since I would say 17 with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We do try to stay a little bit organized, kind of quick segments. We're here for a good time, not necessarily a long time. That long form stuff's behind the paywall on Patreon. But I had a topic last night. I'm like, Tim, let's do mid-season grades, right? Position group grades, because people eat that stuff up. And you said, to hell with that. He's like, we'll do those after the USC game. It's like, fair rebuttal is what I said. So it's exactly right. And I'm to the point now, man, where I'm at now in terms of this offense, in terms of this USC game. USC's defense is great against the run. I think CJ Carr may have to win us a game. And really, as well as he's played, like really pull it all together. No kind of, rookie type mistakes. Last couple, 2-3 weeks, there's 5-6 balls that were just, he's a little bit off. He's going to have to win us this game, I feel like, this week. And then defensively, you feel good about what the kids are doing. You feel good about the energy they're playing with. They've got a lot of swagger, a couple taunting penalties this week, which you eat it up. Is Traore, do we get him first half, Tim? Is he going to miss the first half against SC?
He didn't get kicked out, did he?
I was reading on the chat that he got kicked out of the game, but we'll clear that up later. We got time to figure this out.
I talk about not paying attention. I guess I didn't pay attention if that happened, but if someone could post in the chat, I haven't seen anything online. Maybe Freeman took it. That's when Freeman's chewing his butt on the sideline. But geez Louise, Mike, I didn't even pay attention. I didn't see nothing on the telecast. So yeah, exactly. He benched him. Exactly. That's what I thought. He was chewing his butt out.
Okay. So, take back what I just asked. But I like to see that, even a Bryce Young's kind of mixing it up. But I still am to the point where I don't know if I've learned anything about the defense yet. And I think coming out of this game, figuring out how to cover this slot, this Lemon from USC, I'm still a little bit on the fence. I don't really have a strong opinion about the defense yet. I just don't.
See, I'm the opposite because, and we talked a little bit about this last week. This defense is drastically changed because who they are playing and who they are not playing. And I keep telling people, everyone wants to think it's this giant philosophical change and all these. No, man, it's Mike, better than anyone, with some of the defenses you played on. It's defense is all about hauling ass to the ball. I mean, let's be honest. Hauling ass to the football, causing havoc, playing with an attitude, which you just said, playing with confidence, being a turnover defense. Your 0-2 defense it's all it's ever going to be known for is turnovers and winning games, for Christ's sake, on defense, because Holiday and those guys couldn't, run the West Coast offense for the first 2 months of the season, it felt like. So I've learned a lot in who they are playing now. And that's going back to limiting the rotations. Certain guys only play now in dime. Certain guys are only playing in this package. Johnson and, Schuler, we talked high about them last week in their play. They don't come off the field. I mean, those dudes are playing like crazy now. The D-line, a little bit, rotation is a little bit clearer, I feel. Traore seem to play a little bit more, a little bit less rotation. The tackles are a little bit less, at least from what it feels like. I have yet to look at the game snaps. I usually do that on Monday once everything gets cleared by the NCAA and all that, and it's like official. So I haven't seen it, but it feels like when watching, it's a little bit less. And the linebacker rotation is a little bit clearer as well, especially with, Kingston just keeps playing more and more and more. So that's pretty obvious. And then, it's interesting, just real quick, before I let you dive in, is turnovers are the biggie. And I keep going back to the first two games. Those turnovers were there to be had. I mean, they just didn't make plays. How in the hell? I mean, I'm going to say this all year long, Mike. How in the hell did they not get 4 picks against A&M? The guy doesn't complete 50% of his passes, chucks it up deep, and Notre Dame just never picked the ball off. It's right there. And obviously the famous Schuler one right in his hands, and I'll give it up a touchdown. So it's there. I think they're just cleaning things up and just playing with a hell of a lot more confidence. And I think that goes back to Freeman after Purdue, where they all got in a room and just said, come on, it's time to clean this up and let's get back to playing Notre Dame football. And that's just what it feels like. They've lessened a lot from what I've noticed.
Yeah. I see where you're going with that. And there is one thing I'll say I don't remember the snap, and we'll get into the film. And I'm going to actually challenge you, Tim, in terms of trying to find something schematically on Patreon having broken down all these games in succession going into USC. But I think we disguised a coverage or two this week, which I'd be curious to pop on and see on the film breakdown there. So, we'll see what becomes of that defense. But I'm just telling you, whether it was Arkansas, Tim, or whether it was Boise State, or whether it was NC State, you go into the game and you're like, well, they've got these vaunted offenses, right? They've got all these talent. This NC State is a quarterback. He's going to the NFL. He's an NFL-type prospect, level talent. And then when I see him play us, I'm like, were they overrated or are we that good? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
No, I know. And I know in doing these shows with you and chatting with you so much over the last handful of years together, that's pretty, that's pretty common for you to think like, are they overrated and all that? You've talked about that a ton. And I just, I keep going back to August, and Notre Dame is, I truly believe, a top 5 team. Like everyone thought they were, even in those first 2 games, it just goes back to, they didn't make those few plays on D. The personnel was different. I mean, there's safeties. Come on, let's be real. There's safeties that played in the first 2 games that aren't playing now. They're only playing in little spot shadow roles now. and they were the prime dudes in those first few games. They're not out there now. Nickel is just a constant flip of the coin trying to figure it out. It's almost to the point now where just play Dallas Golden, for Christ's sake. All right, he's the French. Just play him. Just play him. Quit. The other guy's been injured so many damn times. Just play the freshman. Give him all the confidence and work around him if you need be. And if the other guy's healthy, good. Give him some snaps. But who knows what you're going to get out of the Bama transfer, right? Golden's at least playing his tail off. Even the interception he had last year, the dude's a millimeter away from getting a tip on that ball and batting that damn thing down. So it's been an interesting defense to watch, but there's just so many moving parts, I feel, going from Miami to now. And then to your point, those two, I mean, that quarterback from NC State could sling it. That quarterback at Arkansas could run. They went to Rocky Top yesterday and gave Tennessee a run for their money. So that's, even though they had a head coach dead man walking, we know that still that offense is explosive. And that running back, I mean, let's be honest, when he got motioned out and Bowen's on him and Bowen's running stride for stride with them, that guy could run. And Notre Dame held him to under 50 yards rushing yesterday. So I think it's a pretty good unit that's just going to keep getting better. And we're going to obviously know a hell of a lot more around midnight on Saturday night, right?
We're going to see. We're going to see. I guess I'm kind of holding my breath, and I'm impressed at the play style. I'm impressed with the turnovers.
Yeah. But
Lincoln Riley, man, he's going to find mismatches, and he has a way of, I've always said this when you played against USC, it felt like the field was bigger than normal because they get you into playing in so much space. And there's still times where you mentioned that great effort by Bowen one-on-one on the back.
Yes.
I don't know if that's sound defense to me, right? So if you put that on film for a Lincoln Riley where it's like we're going to have our 240-pound, traditional Mike linebacker in man coverage against a speedy running back, I don't love that defense. And that's, again, great job by Drake, but I think that's a flawed scheme. And we're going to have to wait and see, man. We're going to have to wait and see.
No. And I feel like that right there, that's the Al Golden's defense. They did that all the time with Golden. That's just matching up, Mike on the back. I know what you're saying. This guy on that guy, but that's so much. I mean, Bowen, we saw that all the time, getting matched up with backs out of the backfield on wheels. I think him motioning out is kind of like an extension of that, but I think that's so much of the Golden. And then as much as we love Al Golden, Lincoln Riley shredded him at times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his two worst games as a DC were 2022 SC and 2024. I mean, he gave up over 7 yards of play, which is a ton in college football. So Al Golden gave up chunk plays.
Oh, he almost lost us the game last year.
Exactly. And even in 23, the Caleb Williams, you and I talked about this privately, but Caleb Williams had dudes open. He was horrible that night. And, and they didn't capitalize. Remember, some of the interceptions were right to Notre Dame guys. That first one, the tight end's wide open over the middle. He overthrows him right to X Watt. So, you're right. Lincoln Riley is a hell of an offensive coach. He's going to diagram some things to match up. And the biggest thing in this game is Notre Dame has two major flaws on this roster. Number one is short yardage offense. It's been the craps. It's been the crap. Go under center and hand off, for Christ's sake. I don't know what they're doing. It's just been a mess. And then talking about CJ Carr needs to win a game. Yeah, don't roll out to the sideline on 4th and 1 and just run out of bounds. Don't do that, damn it. It's like, what are you doing? The interception, by the way, how is that not PI on Malik? The guy's tackling Fields in the back of the end zone, and it's not a PI. But you and I could do the ACC. I hate, me, I don't like talking about refs, but let's just be happy it's Big Ten refs this week, right? It's like a mess and a half, but it's gonna be right. Riley could scheme, man. He could scheme. And the two weaknesses, short yardage and nickel. Look where all the yards and the catches have come this year. Not all, but you know what I mean. Vast majority of them have been against the nickel this year. A lot.
Oh, 1,000%.
Exactly. 1,000%. And that's been their weakness from game one against Tony. Whoever played at nickel got beat. Hobbs against A&M got beat. Golden has given up a lot of plays this year at nickel. The nickel is a huge, huge liability in the Notre Dame defense right now.
Yeah, it is. And on their first score, where Dallas kind of mistimed the ball,
Yes.
right? Again, very young player, but I think Schuler was playing center field safety, and he bit on something underneath, right? He was kind of chasing squirrels on underneath routes. So Dallas Golden was left one-on-one with zero help over the top. So yes,
running with that guy.
In terms of the question from Jack here, you can literally do anything on defense.
Yes.
You can do anything. But when we're talking about that scheme versus a Lincoln Riley, and I recall back to last year's game where it really took some heroics from us to win the game, most notably Christian Gray.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like we played a ton of man, and then we tried to like sprinkle in zone, and they weren't really prepared to play zone. So it kind of just ended up looking bad. Whereas if you go into the game this year, you want to believe we're more comfortable. I mean, we've repped zone more, put it that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know what path Coach Ash is going to go down in terms of how to game plan for a Lincoln Riley offense.
That's funny you say that, because I just rewatched the SC game. God, not too long ago, probably, just watching back in August. I was just starting to take notes, watching some of the game, trying to get a feel for, just Golden to Ash, seeing, I was taking, just some self notes. And you're right, they played zone and got torched in that game. I remember one touchdown, a slant. The DBs, remember how wide open the slant was down there on the right-hand side, just wide open walk-in touchdown on just a little skinny post. And DBs had no clue who the hell's doing what. And it's just straight cover 3 drop, instant touchdown. They got beat a lot in some zone in there. But it's real quick on the bracket. I mean, one of the most famous games, at least defensive scheme-wise, was in 19 when SC came in with Pittman, first-round pick, right at wide receiver. Amon St. Brown at slot. They had Tyler Vaughn's, a great wide receiver out of Bishop Amont, where the great Corey Minor's head coach now, but Amon out of SoCal. And those 3 receivers were awesome, but they had Kyle Hamilton as a freshman. And they just spied basically Hamilton over Michael Pittman all game long. They couldn't throw the ball deep, but then Amon ran right down the middle of the field for a touchdown. So they're going to have to do some form of box and one, so to speak, on Lemon, because he's a stud. I think Notre Dame could cover the rest of the guys. They could run, they could cover all those guys. They have to figure out how to stop the slot, because he is an absolute stud. He's a stud. He's got to be the best wide receiver they've had since that 19 group.
How do you see that game going? Is it going to be a shootout?
God, it's funny. It's like I keep telling myself, don't look at the analytics. I keep looking at some, because I don't want to look at. I already told you, Mike. I don't want to look at anything till Sunday. I don't want to jinx anything, right? It's like, let's get to Sunday. It's beat SC by any means necessary, and then let's start talking about December. But everything I see is SC's number 1 offense by like every single computer metric out there. Notre Dame's top 5 from everyone in the entire country when you look at all the analytics and all the the tech guys. So it could be a shootout, but I really think Notre Dame is just going to run with these dudes, and they're going to have to figure out how to attack Lemon at slot, bracket him at times. People keep talking about, play Leonard Moore there. Maybe, Mike, but Leonard Moore's never done it. So let me ask you this. Would you take a guy who's never done anything and make him do something against the best wide receiver in the country? That, as good as Leonard Moore is, he's never played in the middle of the field. It's a different animal, as you know. He's a 100% boundary guy. That's why Christian Gray's out there. He gets a bad rap, but that dude's playing in the Pacific Ocean by himself. Leonard Moore's playing down a river, a little skinny river over there.
That's a good analogy. That's a good analogy, yeah.
And the slot is good luck, man. You're in outer space because you could go anywhere. So it's a different world. And I know it's always been talked about. That would be an unbelievable game plan if they did that. Put Moore at nickel, but then who's your third corner, right? Who's that other corner? Is that Carson Hobbs? Do you really trust Carson Hobbs to play corner by himself in this game? I don't know. That's going to be a massive, massive thing to look at.
Yeah, and then another kind of slight concern of mine, and we'll get into this and watch the tape over there on Patreon, but the dichotomy of our offensive line and that they're brilliant lately in pass protection. I mean, it's staggering how much time CJ has to throw. Like, it's like, holy smokes.
They've been really, really good, man.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
But it's very Notre Dame. We can't have both, right? We can't have them being so stout in pass protection and then being dominant in the run game. It's too big of an ask, right? Naturally. And that's part of our short yardage problem, is that the offensive line just isn't like moving people, right? And then now you've got, we'll learn tomorrow at Freeman's press conference what's going on with Ashton Craig, but it's about to become a worse scenario short yardage wise if you're playing a backup in Joe Otting. And then the other thing, last thought was, I know that Absher had repped at center.
Yes.
Throughout his time at Notre Dame, he's practiced at center. Otting's not a very big guy. It kind of feels like you're going back to like the Zeke Correll era.
Yep.
Having Sullivan's big ass in there snapping the ball is pretty appealing to me.
I'm with you. I was actually, as soon as I saw, I was watching the game, I was like, oh, Joe's in there. Oh, there you go. And yeah, you're right. He's short, squatty. He looks like Zeke Correll. One of my favorite centers was in the 90s. The old guys were like this. Rick Kaczynski, who was an old tight end, turned into center. Mike Hell's the great one under the Holchiers, was a middle linebacker. They made a center. But you're right. Otting was a pulling guard in high school, and they've turned him into center. He's just short, thick, little squat body. You hope he turns into a Jeff Fain, right? But Jeff Fain was, USA Today All-American when he came to Notre Dame. But you hope those type of little short squat bodies. But you're right. I was actually like, oh, Absher. That was the first thing I said, was like, oh, they didn't put Absher in there, because I kind of thought he was put Absher, because he started the spring game, because they had the first O-line, and he was the starting center because Ashton was out. So they had Sullivan in there. I was actually a little surprised, but that's also good for Joe. It shows he's been, working his tails off, and he's been the main center, when they've gone to, don't call it backup time or whatever around Freeman, right? And from his press conference, but when they've gone with the second unit, it's been Otting. So, he's strong as hell. You could tell he's strong. Just, was reading about him not too long ago. So, that's gonna be an interesting thing. And then real quick on the O-line is, I'm a firm believer in this, because I've coached defense a long time. When you do not have a quarterback who scares you with his legs, you don't have to. You just sell out. And that's all these teams have to do, is tell the D-line to just get in a 4-point fire out stance. You go back and watch really the last couple games. Middle linebackers, man, if there's a millimeter of a run play, they just blitz. They're just popping. So they're obviously hitting guys on the line of scrimmage as they're trying to get, because and the DNs are just crashing. That's why Carr's had a couple nice runs, keeping it. And he even had a little zone read keeper yesterday where he kept it. But when it's those short yardages, man, it is like, that's why the Boise guy ran in for a walk-in touchdown, because no one respected him. That was an easy boot for a touchdown. So I'm just a firm believer, man. When you don't have a quarterback, the defense has 11 versus 10. And they could just sell out extra dudes in those gaps. And that's what I think that's what we're seeing right now. That's why, if it's if you're not going to hand off the ball, get under center and hand it off, or do a freaking quarterback sneak, go 5 wides and let Carr just find the guy for a quick little hitch. That's what I would do.
Yeah, no, that's really important too. And it's something that we highlighted. That goes back to like the Miami game, and that as good as Carr's been,
yes,
and I'm trying to tread lightly here, but he's not very comfortable in that QB read RPO game. And there was an instance, and we'll highlight it on the film, where Carr should have obviously pulled it. I mean, it was on all lay people, like on the Patreon chat, it was obvious to everybody there was an instance in this game where he made the incorrect read in that game. And that's a big part of Denbrock's offense, right?
Yeah.
And then philosophically, for me personally, if I was a play call, I would want to your point, Tim, somebody back there that is a threat with their legs at the quarterback position, specifically in like a high stakes game like we're about to play Saturday night.
Yes.
So that's all part of. There's so much nuance to football, man, and people like, oh, Denbrock. We're back to Denbrock sucks, right? Meanwhile, we had a stretch of 2 games we didn't punt the damn ball, but he's trashed, this week. But there's a lot that goes into it, and you got to know, like, the play caller knows the strengths and weaknesses of the offense. And right now, like, the offensive line in the run game, short yardage wise, is not a strength. And, CJ isn't. I don't know if he's ever going to get, like, truly comfortable in that RPO piece where he wants to be a thrower of a football, and he's damn good at it, right?
The last 2, it's funny you say that, because the last 2 weeks, I've been yelling at the damn TV, like, spot the ball. You know what I mean? It looks like he's got a first down, and these refs are spotting it like an inch behind. I'm like, damn it! Just get the extra freaking inch on 3rd down, so we don't have to deal with 4th and 1 right now. But yeah, I thought there was one yesterday. Speaking of Ashton, I thought Ashton Craig played bad at times yesterday. There was one where the nose guard just kicks his butt.
He got walked back, yeah.
Yeah, whoever the running back is has an easy ass. Oh, it would have been 1st and goal. 1st and goal, way in the heck down there, and Craig got beat up by their nose guard, and he helped make the play, and that ended up being a short yardage one. But that's it just goes back to the whole quarterback thing. I mean, you don't have to account for him, and you're in shotgun. That's the other thing. When you're in shotgun, man, you just pin, you just attack because you're handing off 5 yards deep. So, as a middle linebacker, man, if you're run popping, you got a full steam ahead downhill. You're hitting that lineman as he's getting the ball, and he's 4.5, 5 yards deep. So it's tough. That's why going under center, and just watching some of the highlights yesterday, I saw Bama went under center, Indiana went under center. Oh my God, I know Georgia did. Who the hell else? Ohio State went under center, and just boom. Power eye, handoff, bam, get 2 lead blockers, hand it off to the tailback, and let's go. So when I see shotgun and it's 4th and inches at the 5, I just lose my mind, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's sometimes it doesn't compute. I'll look into that. And in regards to Andrew had a question, I know it's nuts, right? Go under center. We did see it in the spring game,
yes,
but it was Minchie. It was Minchie. I think it was some sort of boot action, but he was under center. And I remember catching that in some of the spring practice clips. So if Carr's not comfortable doing it, a Kenny package, who knows? Could it be, Tim, give people some hope here? So a reason for optimism. Could it be an instance where Denbrock is kind of holstering some of his best shit for USC, where it's like maybe we have an under center package this whole time. He just doesn't want to put it on display yet?
I'll tell you what, I sure as hell hope so. I really do. I mean, I see people in here talking about Tyler Buckner on the fake. Yeah, that was a fake punt, and it's interesting. I saw it on the 4th, because I had yet to start watching the game. I didn't start. We had the state fair out here I was at yesterday. I started watching late, and then I saw Buckner first down. I was like, oh crap, they put him in it for the quarterback on short yardage. I was actually cheering. I was excited because I think that's the whole damn thing. That's the whole thing he did as a freshman, and he was awesome at it. So
that's right.
But obviously I found out it was a fake punt that was called, and he ran it. But it goes back to the same thing. When you play defense on its 4th and 2, you have to account for him. And it's hard to play 11 on 11 with the quarterback running, because he's got the lead blocker. So you're almost a +1. When they break, it's going back to old Chip Kelly philosophy stuff. You're always a +1 on offense with the QB running. So you got to look at that. Buckner would be unbelievable. Hold on real quick. Buckner ran the game out in 21 as a true freshman. He got the ball and he ran the damn clock down on that last drive that killed the end of the game clock. So just running the damn ball in 21. So I don't know if they'll do that, but it's fun to play with it for a night here, but because he's damn good at it, for Christ's sake.
Do you think that, I know Coach Clark, in terms of the offensive tape, has walked through this, and not everybody's behind the paywall, but could you in 30 seconds explain like the numbers piece when you're talking about the numbers? Like, again, explain it like you're talking to a fourth grader as far as the run game and having extra numbers with your quarterback.
It's just the lead blocker. It's going back to old 21 football with the fullback leading for the tailback. And when the quarterback runs it, he's got a lead blocker. I mean, just all anyone has to do is just look at Riley Leonard last year, right? Every time he got it, he had someone in front of him as the lead blocker. That's that extra guy in the gap. When you hand off, there is no extra guy in the gap that you're handing off to. The running back's got to make a play. But when it's a quarterback power, a quarterback ISO, just a quarterback, even the read option, if you're reading the DN, you're reading that guy. If he holds, that's 1-for-1 with the quarterback, which means that's one less guy in the run game. You could hand off to the running back inside the box. It's one less guy that you're taking out. So it's that's the numbers. That's why some of these offenses, man, when they run the quarterback. Hell, just the Arkansas guy running 50 yards down the damn sideline. They didn't account for him. He's free. So that's why Buckner or even people keep saying they want to throw the Wildcat out. I would get rid of Carr. Just like, don't get his ass off the field. Put a blocker in there, last year Love would knock the hell out of people. The Love highlights on Riley Leonard counters and powers were legendary last year because he's knocking the hell out of people.
He's the best fullback in the country. Best fullback in the country.
Oh my God, they don't have that. So when Jeremiah is getting the ball, they don't have a lead guy. They got Carr as the slot and little Faison playing a wing. It's like, come on, that's not ideal. So unless that's what they're going to do, I like when Jeremiah has the ball, but I'd rather have him have it with a damn blocker in front of him, not Carr out there playing slot.
Yeah. So that's again for folks at home. You're playing with 10 people on the field, basically. Yeah. Once that ball's handed off, it's a nothing burger from your quarterback. So I want to believe that there's a wrinkle, up our sleeve here. Yeah, I want to believe that. And it's so funny too with the kicker scenario. It's like you've got 3 of them, but then it's like if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none. If you got 3 kickers, you got none. And that first kick, that was low as hell. And it, even to like listen to it, if you watch the TV broadcast, it sounded like that ball was filled with sand. I mean, there wasn't a lot of pop on that made kick. So it didn't instill a lot of confidence in me. It was a 44 yard or something like that. But just
48. So, I mean, he got all of 48 and a quarter. So that's his max, right? He definitely doesn't have the leg of obviously Mitch, Money Mitch last year. Oh my God.
There was no lift on the ball. There was no lift whatsoever, right?
No, I was on the Trader kicked that thing 80 yards. Yeah. Dorr a few years ago had a big leg. He could kick. Yeah. The kicking situation is scary, right? It's like, seriously, if you're 24 in the semifinals this year, are you really trusting a kicker to go down and boom one? Probably not. Unless, we get some mojo, which Jeter had last year. So, but that was a hell of a kick, man. That I was like, hell, that's a huge moment right there for him. And I think that team, because let's be honest, kicking's been a mess, right? It's just been a mess from a missed PAT, a drop PAT, horrible field goals. When Denbrock wanted to go for it, they let the freshman go in there and he hits a pitching wedge. Shanks that thing to the left. Oh, it's been a mess. It's been a mess.
Yeah, so that's my take on this USC game is I'm still waiting to see a little bit on the defense. Yeah, I know Arkansas's quarterback was supposed to be nice, and this NC State quarterback was supposed to be nice. But when I'm watching that kid play, he just kept retreating and retreating and retreating. Like, he didn't step up into a pocket. I'm like, who plays the position that way? Mayava's a much better player. I mean, it's, again, statistically, like he's killing it. Yeah. So I'm not fully confident in the defense. And then offensively, I just feel like I don't know how well we're going to be able to just hammer the ball. I don't, especially if you've got a backup in there at center. It really does feel like this game's going to be put on CJ Carr's shoulders. It just does to me.
I'm with you. I think this could be a quarterback matchup. I mean, Maeva's a stud. He's number one in the country in like tons of quarterback categories, top 5 in everything. He's legit. He is slinging it. I mean, dude, man, people hate, Notre Dame fans, obviously it's USC, so we hate Lincoln Riley. But let's be honest, that dude knows quarterbacks, man. Whatever the hell he does, can we get like an inch of it and just a pinch in South Bend? Because his quarterbacks are unbelievable. Every single one the guy's ever touched. So, but at the same time, don't forget, I think the ND game was only his 3rd start last year. So obviously he's got some mojo going right now. And then we keep talking about Carr, and it's like all Notre Dame fans, CJ Carr, and it's the dude still only had these starts. That's it. That's like, when he's running out of bounds yesterday, I'm like, are you kidding me? But I'm like, there's a rookie. There's a rookie for you doing that thing. Obviously go ahead.
That's where we're at with Carr.
Yes.
To me, is he's playing really well, but there is a little asterisk because again, he's only making his 6th, 7th start.
Yes.
And if he has a couple boneheaded plays like running out of bounds on the 4th down, or some missed passes, like it's again 2-3 weeks in a row, there's like 5 or 6 balls where it's like not a great ball, but he makes some beautiful throws. Like the one to Eli was like disgustingly good, where you kind of forgive any of the missed throws or the inaccuracy, however you want to term it or phrase it. But I think that a USC game, he's going to have to pull it all together.
Oh no, and I'm with you but it's also there. I mean, this is an improved USC defense. I think they got better athletes than they did last year, but it's still, for as bad as people think Notre Dame is, Notre Dame has a higher total defense than SC right now by a couple. ND I think is now up to 60 when they were in the 110s after the first game or two, and SC's in the mid 60s when it comes to total D. So it's right there for the taking. They haven't been, their D's been average, solid, so to speak, all year with some athletes. But I think Notre Dame could definitely, I'm with you, can attack them, spread the thing out. I will say, Carr was 0 for 3 on RPO slants. With the Fields? Fields, man, don't even waste your time throwing slants. I go back to the A&M game. He has a walk-in touchdown and he drops the ball against A&M. Do not throw slants to that guy for whatever reason. Hit him deep, hit him on stops. Yeah, they were doing the true, like I call them the Jack Cohen RPOs from the Reese days, where he would read it and hit that out route, throw those backside slants right to Fields, man. It's like, dude, catch that ball. So maybe use him different. And I mean, I've been saying this since freaking for a year, I feel, ever since Fields was coming, is the size of those guys. Dude, how do you match up with Fields and Eli Raritan? They're huge. They're absolute monsters out there, and just keep attacking those guys. So SC is definitely going to have their hands full. And I know they beat Michigan, but I mean, my God, I don't know how much you watched of that, Mike. I watched the whole second half. That guy Underwood he can't throw the ball past 10 yards. I mean, he's sidearm. He'll throw it underhand, backwards. He's freakish athlete. He looks like an EA Sports character.
He
can't throw the damn football at all. So SC is, and the same thing with Illinois, who's just a pound the game, play action. This is a true wide open 11 personnel spread you out pass attack, and we'll see how USC matches up with that. I think they're going to struggle.
It's interesting too, and I love the way that Eli had a great game. I love the way that they're using them, and this is something that I talked about at length in the offseason was, an athlete like that, you can't use Eli the way that you used Mitch Evans or Michael Mayer in terms of like intermediate stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like Eli's so tall, it's hard for him to drop his weight and get in and out of those breaks, where it's like we're letting him just run with speed and carry speed, longer vertical kind of crossing routes, and it suits his game perfectly. He's playing really, really well, man. Really well.
No, he is. And that's, even going back to one of your points just, 15 minutes ago, just going back to the O-line pass pro, and just those guys are starting to come into their own. There's Gerby Lambert and CJ Carr, one and the same, right? Basically 2 rookies learning on the job together, getting better. I've said it. I think every show you and I have started here this season is Billy Strauss playing like an All-American. And I truly hope when the, mid-season All-American team comes out, he's on one of those top threes. He's playing that damn good. He needs to get some recognition. So hopefully the ND media's, sending out feelers to or the sports information peeps and all that. He's playing outstanding. Knapp, obviously, it's almost like, let's just throw out the first game for Christ's sake. That was like, we still don't know what the tackles did in that game. We'll never know against Miami. Yeah. That was like, whatever they did, they've never done it since. So don't even attempt to do it. So it was just horrible blocking. But yeah, you're right. They just keep getting better. SC is going to bring it. It's going to be a play. We haven't even talked. Let's talk about this for 2 seconds. This is a playoff game. It is. It's obviously Captain Obvious with Notre Dame's standpoint, but Notre Dame wins. If they lose any of these games the rest of the season, it's like, just what the hell are they doing, right?
No, and add to the fact, and I want to get to Sean's question there too. And if you got questions, go ahead. Yeah, it was a rough watch for me watching the game Peacock. I had family over, so I wasn't as in tune, and I didn't get a chance to rewatch it today. So, but that's what the film's for. So yeah, if you've got questions, kind of help us along as we're winding this thing down. But Tim, this could be the last time that we play the Trojans.
I know. I was going to say that as well, because next year's is not signed yet. People think it is because it's on those schedule web pages. It's not. 25 is the last one on the contract, and this is why, Mike. This was why Tim Hyde, wanted Michigan to beat the hell out of SC. I didn't want SC being high, excited, having life. They got life. They're now ranked in the top 20. They beat Notre Dame. They're in the playoffs. They're in. Because, who's going to beat them? They're Nebraska, and that, Matt Rule and his horrible offense will not outscore USC. And then they're at Eugene. If they beat Notre Dame, they could lose at Eugene, and they're 10-2. They're in the playoffs.
Sure.
They lose to Notre Dame. Man, now you're going to, now they have to win out. They don't have anything. So this is a massive, massive game for Lincoln Riley in his fourth year. So that's what I'm saying. This is monster game for both teams. And I truly believe it's a playoff game because the winner, I truly feel is in. You just look at the schedule. The loser is probably going to be out.
Promise going to get to Sean's question or any other questions folks
have.
I'll stop last thought on USC, because for folks that don't know, you're born and bred Cali boy, California guy, recently moved to the East Coast. I assume you've got a ton of contacts and connections out there. What does that USC fan base feel when you're talking about they have some life? Do they think they're going to go into South Bend and come out with a win?
Oh, they're excited as can be because they feel they have the best quarterback. So they feel they have the best quarterback, and they were like, we almost beat you last year, and you're a team that went to the title game, and we're literally one little toss in that right corner of the end zone from tying it up, right? And then the pick six happens, and then another pick six. So they know that they were close last year with basically a quarterback in his third start. So they're really excited. Yeah, no, I have a close friend, I don't know, I think I've told you this before, but who works in the film at USC football. That's all he does. So he's part of the film crew. He'll be there in South Bend, and they're really excited. I was texting him this week because he was like, who do you want to win? And I'm like, buddy, I want Michigan. I want SC down. I was like, all my Notre Dame fans want SC ranked. I'm like, I don't want those bastards ranked, but that's just me. But they are ranked, and it's going to be a hell of a ball game. And I have a handful of really, really close friends that are USC alums, and they're excited. I know one family friend, their whole family of 6. They're going to the game this weekend.
Nice. It's a shame it won't be a little colder, but getting back to.
Real quick on that, because obviously you played in this game a handful of times, and I know you played in the Carroll years, but you were a part of 2 wins. So you did get those wins in 01 and obviously 2000, your first two, but every single one of my USC fans, friends that are alums or diehard SoCal people, they do not want this thing to end. They do not. I personally know some alums that are boosters that go to all these meetings and help raise money. And it's 90% USC fans do not want this thing to end. This is all coming from the administration when they're looking at all that, just travel and schedule and making life easy. That's what they're trying to do. We have our 9 conference games. It's basically taking the Signetti route. Why do we need to play a non-conference schedule? Play our conference, worry about the conference. That's an administration. The fans, SC fans, they do not want this thing to end.
No, and it's you bring this up. I swear to God, Sean, we're gonna get there.
Last one, exactly.
But it's like I had this thought last night, and I've been watching a lot of Ray Lewis stuff lately. I don't know why, right? Sometimes I go down these Mike Tyson rabbit holes, and I'm like, I've been watching a lot of Ray Lewis, just YouTube stuff. Watched his Hall of Fame speech, all like 38 minutes of it last night. And I want to have this conversation with John, and maybe it's an off-season thing that we'll do on Patreon, but just how sport in general has changed. What it got me thinking was like, athletes and money, and everything's about money, where it's like, okay, this tradition with this rivalry and this USC game, to hell with it, right? It does, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, kind of thing. And I'm watching Kobe Bryant a couple nights ago when he pops his Achilles, he stays out there and shoots the free throws. I feel like a lot of that's gone from sport, right? I want to walk that conversation out with John. And I think this USC scenario kind of blends itself to that. Now, getting to Sean's question. I'm no quarterback guru, but like, I wouldn't say that CJ has a big arm or like a whip for an arm, like above adequate in terms of strength. His best asset as it comes to his arm is that accuracy.
Yes.
So like when you're saying, has he let one rip? Yeah. I mean, if you're going to throw the ball 45, 50 yards in the air, you're letting it rip.
Yes.
It's just not going to come out with the same amount of velocity. If you watch a Josh Allen, a Herbert, he just doesn't have that whip of an arm where it's like some of the ones where he's pushing the ball downfield. He's absolutely letting it rip. He just doesn't have that torque, that lever, as it were, Tim, that other quarterbacks might have, but they're probably less accurate.
Yeah, and the first play I think about is obviously what was that? I mean, my God, the bomb to Malachi Fields. Was that Purdue? The first play of the game, right, where they hit the 60-yarder, and he chucked that thing deep. I mean, they're a slot fade team. They've thrown some slot fades. They had Faison out wide yesterday, and they tried hitting him on a deep shot. Once again, it's 50-50 balls. They're not great. They're not like Michael Floyd, Tate, Claypool, some of these, Fuller, some of these guys that would just kick your ass one-on-one. They just did. You throw him the ball. I mean, you played with Mo Stovall, for Christ's sake. That's all. I mean, you throw that guy the ball up, he's going to get it. Jeff Samardzija, back in that era. Notre Dame said Derek Mays, when I was a young ND fan, was the best at beating people one-on-one down the field. Unbelievable, Derek Mays was. I don't know if they have that alpha dude to go win one-on-one out there, don't you? Right? I mean, we love Faison inside, but is he gonna beat you on a go route? I don't think Fields is that guy. Play action post, sure. Boundary, sure. Pauling, a little seam, yes. So I don't know so much they have that stud, kind of like what SC has. Lemon, you could put anywhere and he could run right by you and he could beat you.
Well, what are we talking about? So this is nuanced. So we talking about run right by you, or we talking about go up and get it?
I'm talking go up and get it, but I don't know, it's interesting. And I guess, whenever I think of a go up and get it guy, it's always Claypool or Floyd. It's just these studs, right? I mean, those first and second round draft picks. So yeah, we don't see those guys on this Notre Dame roster. So can Faison get it? Yeah, but those are short guys, man. It's, short guys, not a lot of great outside short guys that go and jump and and go grab him. Has he done it? Yes.
Here's my take on that. I mean, Golden Tate would go up and get it. I've seen Faison go up and get it. I've seen Fields go up and get it this year earlier on. Some of that 50-50 ball, jump ball scenario, that's on CJ. I mean, he's got to, in this game, he floated several out of bounds. I mean, CJ's got to put it in a spot where he can go make a contested catch. I mean,
without a doubt, it's and that's I think we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. Like, it's that feel thing. There's just no feel on some of these balls, that he has thrown along the sidelines. You're correct. I mean, he threw a couple out of bounds. It's like, dude, didn't he have one to Fields? He kind of like threw out of bounds. It's like, that guy's 6'5". How do you overthrow that guy?
Yeah, so it's positioning of the ball. Yeah. That's some of that. Again, that's on the court. You got to hold your quarterback accountable. I'm just saying.
True, and he's still, but that, and as we nitpick and still go from there, you're like, man, this guy still has, hopefully 30 more starts at Notre Dame, which is crazy to think about. So that's how young he still is. But you're right, it's still there. It's definitely doable, and hopefully we see it this week, because I really do think they could chuck this thing out. Even yesterday, and watching the game and the way NC State, the front was just playing in the backers, I'm like, don't even run the ball. I was hoping CJ would throw for 550. It's like I felt yesterday they could have done that. So, take 10 runs away and give those to passes, and they torched those guys even more yesterday. So I think it's there with these guys. And going back to your point, Mike, which I keep wanting to say in this show, is the wrinkle. There's got to be a love wrinkle. There has to be. Denbrock has to have like 3 little spicy little fun plays over here that he knows he's going to get love somehow, some way on that backup safety, because they do have a couple of injuries SC has. And he, dude, you know damn well they're working a way to get love, that wrinkle, and have him pop some 70-yarder this week. I feel it. Going back to your point, are they saving something? And I bet you.
Yeah, you could talk about love, and we'll get to Andrew's chat here. And this is something I'm going to try to quantify it on Patreon this week, like really highlight it with Jared watching the offensive tape. And again, it's there. I don't know if there's statistics behind it, the data. Let's just watch the film. But Jeremiah Love, when he's in the backfield, the defense, we don't even need to talk about it really, but the defense keys on him in a different way, a more intense way than they do Price. I'm just saying. And I can't quantify it, but it's like when you watch the actual film, they are dialed in, they're playing downhill. It's like alert, 4's in the game. It's a real thing where it's like the chatter of who's a better player, Love or Price. Price should be getting more touches. I'm just telling you, it's a real thing. I played the position. Like if I'm playing middle linebacker and so-and-so's in the game versus this other kid, like it's a real thing. Like, oh man, I gotta get to my spot. I gotta ratchet it up a little bit more. So
no, I mean, you're right. You're right. Coaches do that. Players do that.
Oh, dude. I mean, you get your scouting report and it's like, it's all the stuff's on. Love's a killer. He's the best back in the country. And then you go to bed thinking about that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. Like, oh shit, I don't want to get hurdled. I don't want to get posterized, whatever is the case.
And even in a game where it didn't look like he did anything, he looked like he rarely even played. He still has a couple touchdowns. He's like top 5 in running back touchdowns this year. I don't know the numbers off my head, but he's got a lot of them. And he still had in the mid 80s rushing, which is damn good. And he still had over 4.5 yards a carry, which isn't great, but that's still efficient running. So even in a down game, he's still dynamic and as hell. So that's why I really think they're going to have something for him. I've heard someone mention the screen game. Screen to Love. No wide receiver screens, but screen to Love. We had plenty of those early, but and then I think it was Tom Frawley talked about Faison, and I love it. I mean, me and Goolsby have been talking about Faison since first time we ever saw the guy against Louisville. We're like, dude, just
he's our best wide receiver, and I've said that since last year. Go ahead.
He's always looked different. Even yesterday, he caught a pass, 5 yards before the first down, and he jukes everyone and gets the first down. He is, bar none, the best player out there in the open field in the wide receiver room. He just is. And that's why he's a damn good football player, man. They're going to keep giving him the ball because he's got the wiggle. He's got the little mojo where you could go get stuff.
Let's get to this question.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so
you want
maybe
to
we'll wind it down with this one. Get out of here.
Let's go.
Taylor gets fired at Cincinnati. Al Golden's back on the market, and we'll see. Ends up 9-3. A lot of hypotheticals. Very hypothetical.
I love it.
They missed the playoffs. Do you try to bring Al Golden back? How does that work in the coaching world? Where he leaves to go back to the NFL. Are we going to welcome him back with open arms? Is that like
First off, exactly. He left after signing a 3-year extension. So it's not like, he had to leave. You go to the NFL, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. So you just never, the NFL, man, you never know. That place, they fire coaches every other day. So you just never know. I don't know if they go 9-3 and miss the playoffs, you could, who knows? Who knows? I keep going back to the first 2 games. Even as much as they were just off and messed up and here and there, they still had opportunities to win the damn games. They still had opportunities to take the ball. Hobbs, a couple plays before the last touchdown, the ball's there for a pick the ball, game's over. So, so many of those things. I don't see that because in the coaching world, he left. Freeman's a military kid, right? He's a military kid. I don't see him taking people back. I just don't. If Golden's on the open market, he's trying to get that Penn State gig. So, and real quick before
Tim, I like that off the top rope. I like that.
Speaking of Penn State, real quick, Mike, who's the best hire right now? Right? Is it Jim Knowles, $3 million, who's going to get fired? Their defense is atrocious. Is it Tom Allen, who left Penn State to go to Clemson for more money, and they're struggling like hell this year? Or is it Chris Ash? Who the hell? What DC out of those 3 is going to survive this season? So, we'll see at the end of the year. But,
so that's Tim's answer. It's probably, to that hypothetical question, it's probably unrealistic given just the nature of things, that you're going to leave and then we're going to take you back 12 months later. So it's probably unrealistic, but fun question.
And going back to, I said it was just the extension. He left. He had a 3-year extension he had just signed, and he left, but he left for personal reasons, family all those families we know were still in Cincy. So, that's all there. But what do we got? Andrew Gilmore. Let me read this. Tim and Mike, are the D tackles playing to your liking? I'll tell you what, Mike, they are shutting down the run, though, aren't they? No one's gashing them. They have all they haven't given up a 100-yard rusher, knock on wood. The SC guy had like 160 against Michigan last night. But it's to me, Mike gave this group an A at the beginning. I was always like, there are a bunch of backups that are going to rotate like hockey guys. And I think you and I would say at the halfway point, if we wanted to give a grade, I think both of us are kind of merging, because I think they are playing their tails off. Rubio is playing like an NFL guy. Going back to our rotation stuff of guys playing that we didn't see in the first few games that are. Elijah Hughes had a sack. He's playing more. Dawson is kind of just been a little nicked up, playing a little here and there. Heinisch, we know who Heinisch is. He's like Burnham, right? We know when they play what they're going to give us. They're going to go 100 miles an hour. Anye is kind of, average, I would say. But definitely Rubio has been, to me, I would say behind Leonard Moore, Kingston, and Rubio are the top 3 defensive players, I would say, at the halfway point from what we've seen from start to this point right now.
So I gave him an A, and we're gonna do that. It'll probably be behind the paywall. Next Monday, we'll do a mid-season review, positional grades, maybe look back into the preseason grades and see how we shook out. But I gave that D-line room an A, just because I loved all the tools at our disposal. Tried to call that group the Cheesecake Factory just because the menu is so big. You got 340-pound nose tackles and you got 270-pound nose tackles. So whatever you got a taste for, we had it. I think, and Elijah Hughes, and Andrew's a Patreon guy, I was the only person talking about Elijah Hughes because I looked at his high school film in particular, and I was like, he's a good player.
Yes.
So yes, he's playing well. Anye's not playing great. Anye's just he's a jag. He's just a guy, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
And I was excited about him because he put on 20-something pounds. Just this not a great player for us thus far this year. But yeah, I think they're playing well, man. I do, and I think the edges are heating up.
And let's go to Andrew's if we want to end this here in a few seconds. Is Andrew's last one on Junior Tuihalamaka. I'm telling you that people are asking, hey, can he come back? No. Knock on wood for Junior. Junior has played in every single football game he's been a part of. He's a senior. He started against Navy as a true freshman. He played on every special team that year. Junior has played in every damn game. And I will tell you what, man, if there's a Serviceman of the Year award that they give out or whatever the Goolsby award is at the end of this season, I mean, going back to I remember Al Golden talking about him 2 years ago during spring ball when he was playing a lot of Viper and, I don't know, it's a Mike Backer moving to Viper. And Al Golden in one of the spring press conferences were like, are you kidding me? That is the most dependable, most fundamentally sound, most do whatever the hell you ask football player on this football team. I'll never forget that because I love Junior. He's from obviously a SoCal Catholic and Alamany High School in Southern California, a really good high school football program. And Junior's just steady Eddie, man. That dude plays. He had those back-to-back plays yesterday were just outstanding. Read the screen, then he gets the bull rush on the pass rush. So that guy gets after it. Tip of the cap.
Yeah.
I mean, Tuihalamaka's like, he's Heinisch. He's Elijah Hughes. He's Burnham. He's these guys that just go 1,000 miles an hour every snap they're on that field, and they play sound fundamental football.
As clinical as you want to make everything with football nowadays, it's like you still need a high effort. And it's like he's a damn good football player. And again, we forget he started as a Mike linebacker as a true freshman. And he might not have the twitch, you might not have the length or whatever that when you're going to draw up or create a character on Mad, but he's a really, really good football player. Great game from him and great game for Bowen. This is the best I've seen Bowen play all season, and particularly in coverage. That one where they threw, was it just a quick, flat route and they tried to rub him?
Yes.
And he ended up making that. Dude, that is very difficult to do.
So
to weave through all that traffic and make a one-on-one tackle against that back, like that was impressive. So, yeah, great game. But no, I got the Goolsby Awards here. We did this on Patreon preseason.
Okay.
The Rodney Dangerfield Award, player that doesn't get enough respect. Junior didn't win the award, but he was one of the
he was nominated. There you go.
One of the nominees.
He was up for it. But yeah, real quick on that's interesting to say that on Drake because in all his games, that might be his best game he's ever played. Just the violence he played with, he filled on some runs, which sometimes he has a tendency to catch on some of the runs. Yeah. Overthinks it. He was aggressive. His blitz in the last 2 weeks have been good. Early in the year, they had him at end. He's not a damn end. He's shorter. He's littler than Tuihalamaka. So do not put him at end. Just plug him. And I think he's really coming into his own the last 2 weeks. And that just goes back to Schuler and some of these guys that are returning. I mean, Traore outside of a couple plays in Miami was a non-factor against A&M. Boubacar just keeps getting better. He's coming back from a knee injury. So some of these guys, and then everyone knows I'm biased. Hell, I don't give a damn. But seriously, Kingston is just a flat-out stud. The dude's all over the place. And that you want to talk about someone who's going to get hyped for SC? Yeah, that guy's going to bring his A game against his buddies at SoCal on Saturday night. So there's all these guys that are playing damn good football and just keep bringing it together.
On the chat on Patreon, I predicted KBA was going to pick off a pass this week, and it happened. It was 2 plays against Boise where I was like, ugh.
He's right there.
Where either the ball got – that's the worst thing as an inside linebacker. You play it just right and the ball gets tipped and you're like, damn it. That was my ball. So was happy to see that. KVA is a great player. Drake
Yes.
played well. Osprey had a bunch of tackles. Yeah, the kids are having fun. Curious as why this is, see, Jimmy, this is the stuff, and we're ending it here, right?
Yes.
This is why we watch the whole game on offense and defense on Patreon. And it's a shameless plug. Like, this isn't the format for me and Tim to like talk about why it's not blocked correctly, or what I'm talking about earlier in terms of the intensity of the defense with Jay Love back there versus a Price. It's like, that's why we do the film. So that's just, I'm skirting your question, Jimmy. Thank you for the super chat, but sometimes you just got to see the tape, and it's a picture's worth 1,000 words. Sometimes video's worth even more.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think, and you've heard me talk about it real quick as we wrap up, is some of it's vision. It's been there a handful of times for him to make one cut and he's gone. I think Love's been 6-8 plays away from just 50+ yard runs. So it's definitely there. So,
but when you watch, I'm telling you, when you watch the tight copy, and it's like when you really get into that offensive line play, and you're like, one guy, trips, or one guy gets across his face. It's like, it's just one little thing, one blade of grass sometimes. But it's like, oh, you watch it in the tight copy in particular. You gotta see it to get a full explanation. But no, it's coming soon.
Oh no, and there's one play I against A&M. It was phased on or Paul. No, I think it was Pauling. Pauling motions in. He's the wing, and the A&M guy just destroys him right into Love. Well, it don't matter who the hell's blocking on the O-line if the damn wide receiver's trying to pin this guy, gets earholed 5 yards back, and then you got Jeremiah Love where it's one of those. If he just holds him for a half a second, he's gone. But that's what you're saying, man. The film tells no lies. It shows you.
And it never has. It never has. It never has.
That's it.
So we'll get into that in the coming days over there on Patreon. Monday Night Raw tomorrow, wide open Q&A session. And yeah, the defense has improved. There's a part of me that still wants to hold my breath. Lincoln Riley's a hell of a play caller. Huge game, the Chad Bowden Bowl.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah,
so
right.
Let's get out of here, Tim. I appreciate you, buddy.
Man, exactly. We could go another 2 hours, so let's get the hell out of here.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.